Welcome to the Out of Your Comfort Zone podcast. On today's episode, we'll be talking to 4 ambassadors who traveled to Rome, Paris, Barcelona, and Seville last summer about what they think you need to know before you head abroad this summer 2025. Enjoy the show. So welcome to the Out of Your Comfort Zone podcast. On today's episode, we are going to talk to our ambassadors that went abroad last summer of 2024, what they wish they knew before they went on their study abroad program, as you guys are all now, as our 2025 cohort is now embarking on the adventure of going abroad across the world for this summer. So they're here to give you some advice and to reflect on their experience. So I'm going to have you guys all introduce yourself. Let's start with Clarke.
Okay, yeah. Hi, I'm Clarke. I am 15. I'm a sophomore. I go to Barrett High School Early College, and I traveled to Paris this summer for fashion design and French culture.
All right. I'm Tristyn. I went to Rome, Italy over the summer for the language and culture program. I'm 18, and I am from Wisconsin.
I'm Fariah, and I traveled to Barcelona this past summer, and I'm a senior in high school.
I'm Katie, and I went to Seville, Spain for their honors, their language and culture honors program.
So around this time last year, you were getting ready to embark on your CIEE adventure, getting ready to head abroad to your destinations. So all of you, it looks like, went to Europe. What were you most nervous about going into your study abroad experience?
I mean, my main thing was staying alone because most of the time I travel with my family. And so it was really hard to, be out and about. I had my friends and I had people who were looking out for me, but I didn't feel the connection that I usually have with my parents, especially because of the time difference in Paris to the US. For me, it was like a 6-hour time difference. So they will be calling me and it'll be 3 p.m. and I'll be getting ready to go to bed. So it would be just, there's kind of a disconnect because I was also disconnected from my friends too. So it was kind of just like you only have the people who are around you. And it's nice because it really gives you the opportunity to make good friends without the conflict of your friends from home contacting you. But yeah, it's definitely difficult being by yourself. And also it was just really hard. But it got better by like week 2.
Yeah, Clarke, I see where you're coming from there. I mean, what was hardest for me was just getting into a big area. I came from this itty bitty farming town, and then all of a sudden I was in this great big city. I didn't know what to do.
I would say the same thing, just navigating through the airport alone, because I've never traveled alone. So that was one of the conflicts I had.
What was that like, navigating the airport on your own for all of you?
It was so scary. But like, it also felt fine because I've traveled like a lot, but it felt weird because like you're not with your family. So it's like my mom is usually the one who's has the map and is telling us where to go and what to do. And it's like you walk into this big airport and it's like you don't know where you're going and you don't know who to ask where you're going because everybody's walking past you or around you. And it's just it was very difficult. But once I found the gate, it was like simple.
Same for me. And saying goodbye to my family and then just having to like find my way through the airport alone was hard. But when you find like someone who's also through the program, like it makes everything easier because that's how you start making friends too.
Yeah, my closest friend from Paris was someone I met at the airport.
Yeah.
Personally, I didn't have to navigate the airport alone because I had a chaperone flight. So to the people watching this, if that's an option for you, I definitely go for it because it does make it a lot more easier.
I was really upset when I didn't go through the chaperone flight. I mean, it's definitely a little bit more expensive, but the cheaper option, it was a lot harder. And towards the end, I wasn't able to spend the rest of the flight with my friends.
Yeah, the chaperone flight is definitely a good option, right? Because then you know that you have a bunch of other students wearing their blue CIEE shirts that are flying with you, right? And you know you have your program leader to help you get through through the gates and through security and stuff like that. So it's definitely a great option. So is this something you guys thought about like before, in the weeks before that you went abroad? Were there any things that were like looming over your mind that were different than this while you were still in the US getting ready to go abroad? Where was your like headspace at that point?
Okay, so honestly, it felt really surreal. And like, I just couldn't believe that I was about to spend a whole month alone abroad, like in a foreign country. And like, I honestly procrastinated my packing too, just because like it just wasn't real, honestly. And I was just really nervous about how I would get around because coming from like a smaller town, because I live in Texas, and then having to go to like a bigger city and like use the metro system, which I had no idea how to use. It was just really scary and daunting. But once you get there, you know, they teach you how to use like transportation, and your host family helps you out a lot. So, how was transportation for you guys, like getting to school and stuff, and like the countries you guys travel to?
For me, it was crazy because I had an hour-long commute on a good day.
Really?
So, oh yeah. Well,
Wow.
because my host family, we lived like a little bit outside of the actual city, like on the real edge of it. So the bus didn't even go all the way. And since my host family knew that I came from a farm and a town with 300 people, they're like, we're not going to put you on a bus by yourself for a while.
And so they
So,
went each day with you.
well, they drove me to the first bus stop,
Uh-huh.
and then one of them went with me until we got to the center.
That's really cool.
That's really kind. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really
We
good.
have some great host families.
Yeah, I mean, for us, for the topic programs, you don't have a host family. You get to stay in like a separate space, and usually you have like a bunch of people who live in the same area as you. Like for me, we all lived in one apartment complex, and we all just went together most days. But for me, like honestly, I can't even lie. Transportation was not hard for me. Like even if it was a longer commute, I live in New York City. It honestly, New York City is worse with transportation than Paris was. So I don't know, it was just a lot simpler, I guess. I don't really know how to explain it, but also you have people who will be there with you. They're like, don't be afraid to ask for help because people are happy. Like everybody's just as scared as you are, honestly. Even if they don't look like it, they're just as scared as you are, and they're just as like hoping that someone will reach out and just take the opportunity if you can.
For me, it was hard at first because I live in Jersey, so I don't take the metro or anything. But my roommate, she lives in Manhattan, so she knew everything about like taking the metro and even taking buses. So that's how we kind of help each other out.
Yeah, New
Wait,
Yorkers
so
definitely have the advantage, right?
For
With
sure,
the
yeah.
only place that
And
we really have a strong public transportation system in the US, right? So
yeah,
find a New Yorker. When in doubt, find a New Yorker.
Exactly.
yeah.
All the New York kids were like taking over.
Hmm.
I was so surprised. I was like, how do you all know how to run the transportation? And they're like, we live in a city where it's the exact same. And I was like, I guess so.
Yeah. And it's funny because I was like always the one that remembered like what street to take when we were walking, and she never like she always forgot. Like she always just knew how to ride like the metro.
But we don't do streets. We just take the train and hope for the best.
can I ask you guys a question?
Yeah.
What was having roommates like? Because my homestay, I didn't have one.
I didn't have one either.
Um, yeah, for me, it was the best. I loved it a lot because I gained like a best friend, and even now like we're still in contact, and it was like it made everything a lot better. Um, and it made everything so much more fun, at least for me. And like she's the best, so yeah, I really appreciated having a roommate with me.
So I kind of went through the same thing as you, Katie, because my roommate, like I come from Texas, we don't have a metro. And so my roommate was a New Yorker, so she helped me get around a lot. And it's just so nice to have someone with you. And I feel like we got really close, and I still talk to her to this day too. So it was just really nice. Also because she was a fluent Spanish speaker, so she would help me a lot there too. But yeah.
Yeah, a definite built-in support system, right? Did you find out who your roommate was before you went abroad, or just when you got there, you met them?
For me, I had texted her before, but you don't know the person until you actually meet them in real life. And yeah, it was overall a positive experience and we became really close.
For me, I didn't get to meet her until I got to Portugal because we went from Newark here in New Jersey and then we got to Portugal and we were all just in a circle all talking and we were all talking about our homestays, and that's when I realized that I was traveling with my roommate all along.
Oh, look at that.
hmm
Great. So, okay, we talked about what you were nervous about, but what were you excited about as you're getting ready, packing your bags, getting ready to leave and to go to Europe for a month? What were you most excited about?
For me, I was really, really excited just to get out of my house. I mean, you really don't have that worldwide view you think you have. Everything is not the same like you think it is. Once you go out, you will learn that every single thing is different.
Yeah.
That was an exciting aspect for me.
Gain that new perspective.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Katie.
For me, it was just like expanding my knowledge about culture because I already knew Spanish, but just like getting to experience like a new culture was something I was very excited about.
Yeah.
For me, I was really just excited to make friends who were not from my school or weren't from my town. And it was funny because like most of the friends I made ended up being from New York. But it was like I never met anybody there before. I didn't know anybody. So it was just really nice meeting people, like no judgment, nobody knew anybody, there was no drama. And it's like, it was nice that everybody just in the beginning just got along. Everybody was really great friends. We were looking out for each other. And it's just like you have a group of people who you can count on no matter what. Like I still talk to a big group of people who I went abroad with today. Like we just made plans to hang out.
Cool.
Yeah, I was also really excited to just make new friends, go to a place where no one really knows you, and then also learn about a new culture. Also, like when I was getting ready to go, I was like researching places to go, and like my homestay was like next to the beach, so it was like two like stops away. And then also just like all like the fun like, landmarks and places to go. So, were there any like places that you guys went to often or like your favorite place that you visited where you studied?
You have a place,
You know,
I gotta go here.
it might be a relatively small place, but something that became really important to not just me, but a lot of people that were in my group. There was this little cafe right by the turn to go over to the CIEE Center, and which was a huge culture shock because the European allow animals in, or at least some European places allow animals in like the restaurants and stuff. So there was an orange cat named Romeo in the cafe, and we would all stop there every single day.
How to do your daily visit to Romeo. What else? What other favorite spots did you guys have in your cities?
There was a place right by the CIEE Center that everybody would go to. It had like pasta and pizza and hamburgers. And honestly, like when we would have our free time, we would all just go to like different places because we didn't want to stay going to the same place. But like every time we would go for lunch, whenever like we couldn't decide, we would all just be like, let's just go to the lunch place around the corner because no one could ever agree on anything. So we would all just go around the corner, and it was really good food. I kind of miss it because it was delicious and it came quickly.
Katie, did you have a favorite spot?
I loved everywhere.
Yeah.
I loved going everywhere. I think everywhere was just like fun and nice. I really liked the center of the city because there was a lot of like it was a very historical city. Um, and it has like a lot of agriculture, so I really liked it.
Were you guys like super hyped to see the monuments and stuff like that? Like, were you all about Clarke seeing the Eiffel Tower and about seeing the Colosseum and about seeing like Sagrada Familia for you in Barcelona or the Giralda in Seville? Like, Were you guys super excited about all of these monuments?
It was so exciting. And we actually did a boat ride past the Eiffel Tower on the first day.
Yeah.
And okay, I can't even lie, the Seine was like, it was not in the best condition when we were there. But it was just like the joy of just seeing one of the monuments that you see on TV all the time. And it's in the background of all these posh shows. And you're seeing it in person right in front of your face for the first time. And it was really great. And we got to see it light up one night. We all went out.
Okay. You felt like you were in Emily in Paris.
Yes, I did like that actually.
Seeing the Colosseum was definitely surreal, but we went to the Roman Forum that day. It was the second day there because the first day we had orientation, and the second day we went down to the Roman Forum and the Colosseum. And so that was a lot of walking in the July heat. That was not something I was ready for. Make sure
And
you
that is
look up.
something that people should be ready for, right?
Oh yeah.
Gonna be walking for hours. Like, get used to walking.
Yes. And it's hot. It's summer. Most of our destinations are going to be very hot. Southern Europe, Asia, Japan or Korea, they're going to be very hot at that time as well, right? So
Yeah, kind of like on that topic, honestly, just bringing appropriate clothing and shoes to like walk, like, because we were walking for like hours. Like, there's so, like, even when you're not in like class, like when you're just walking with your friends around the city or like going places, like, it's just important to like, always have water on you and also just bring the appropriate clothes. So, were there any like clothing items or like maybe shoes that you guys wanted to bring and you were just like, dang it, I should have brought that?
Oh yeah. Everything. It's like, it's not the same walking as you would do regularly. Like, I'm one to go and walk around the town all day. But once you're walking around in the different area and the different heat and the different humidity, everything changes.
You're gonna want to walk, but you're gonna regret it every single time. But it's like you're not gonna regret it eventually. Like you're gonna think about it and be like, it was really nice. But when you're walking, it's like, oh my God.
Like now I'm glad it happened, but in the minute I was not happy.
Yeah, I was ready to go home as soon as I started walking, but then it was like I got home and I was like, I would have been really sad if I hadn't gone.
Exactly. And by walking,
Yeah.
you're doing so many more things, right? Go ahead, Katie.
In the summer it is hot, but going to Spain I was not expecting the heat. And the first week we all like every single day we took tours. So walking was like very crazy in that heat.
And you were in Seville. You were in like one of the hottest cities in Europe, one of the
Yeah.
hottest cities in the world. So I was in Seville last summer. Were you there while I was
Yeah,
there?
I did. We met.
Yeah, and man, it was rough. From 3 o'clock to 5 o'clock, and that was my nap time because I wasn't gonna be outside walking anywhere. It was time to be in the hotel scrolling on TikTok.
Yeah.
For sure. Did anybody give you guys any good advice before you left? Family members, friends, anybody, teachers, anybody that had already gone abroad? What kind of advice did you guys get?
Don't be shy.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like don't
Sorry.
be shy. You don't get anything from keeping to yourself. I mean,
Yeah.
unless that's how you are usually, but no one's gonna judge you for trying to make friends. And it's a better experience if you have someone to travel the city you're in with.
Yeah,
And it's
just
really
being like very open.
So some of the best advice I got was from my host mom when I was actually in Barcelona, and she kind of just told me to like, because personally I'm a little introverted and like I didn't go out as much as my roommate, and she would just always tell me like this is a once in a life experience, and it really is. So to honestly like take advantage of everything that you can do, and like the time that you can spend with the people around you, because when you leave you'll miss it and you'll think of, oh, I should have done this, should have done that. So just go all out, do things that you won't be able to do when you go home. So yeah.
Because most of the time you'll never see those people again. Like
You recreate that moment, right? As much as you can go back to Barcelona many times in your life, you can go back to Paris, but you're never going to be 16 years old in the spot with these same people again.
Yeah.
Right? So take advantage of that.
And the fact that it's only a month-long program, it's the worst and the best part, because on one hand, you only get to spend a month there, but on the other hand, you get to spend a month being whoever you want to be with almost no repercussions. Like, just be a good person. If you want to be funnier and try to speak out more, it's a good time to work on yourself.
Yeah, because you're never like those people, because you're with people who are from, I have a friend who was coming in from Guatemala or Venezuela. It's like the chances that you see those people again is very, very low unless you choose to. So it's like just be yourself because no one will ever know. No one who you want to know will ever know.
Your growth as a person and just like how much this can really impact you in such a good way.
And you really have to keep in mind that this is a program that everybody there wants to be there. And at least in my experience, everybody was super nice. Like, everybody wanted to make me feel welcome. They wanted to include me if I wanted to be included. I mean, there was times I was sitting in a corner and somebody would come and talk to me. Like, everybody just wants to be there and meet new people and have that experience.
Yeah, you're all there for the same reason. Just embrace it because people are going to be as shy as you and they might be reserved at first, but just keep working at it and they'll open up because it's really difficult being in a new country, not knowing anybody, practically being forced into a program, not forced, but like shoved into a program with like just an orientation and a pat on the back and a good luck. But you'll have support, you'll have friends. It'll be fine. Like
Yeah. At the end of the day, you all have just each other. So,
yeah.
Do most
So,
of
yeah.
you still speak with your friends that you made on program?
Oh yeah. We still have a group chat. We still text. I'm literally planning on, because I have a lot of friends in New York, so planning on making a trip up there soon.
Amazing. So, Fariah, you were talking earlier about packing, right? And being smart about packing and being ready for the walking and the weather. So, what kind of things did you guys pack? Is there something that you're really happy you packed? What's like the one thing you're so glad you packed, or something that you regret packing or not packing? Like something that did you forget to pack anything that you're like, oh man, I messed up. I really should have brought this with me.
Well, I really wanted to be prepared. So my mom and we brainstormed, and I ended up with this thigh pouch that got brought with me everywhere. So I was able to keep my portable charger, my charging cord, my adapter, headphones, all of it just right on my thigh, and I was able to lock. It was a really good investment.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, get like a fanny pack. Get like something that can go like either over your clothes where you can see it or under your clothes because especially if you're going to a big city, the first thing they tell you is pickpocketing is huge. Like in Paris, the first thing they told us was you will get pickpocketed if you're not watching your stuff. So, if you have class and you want to bring a bigger bag with your computer and stuff, leave it in the classroom and come back later maybe and have a smaller bag to carry with you if you have free time.
I mean, we don't want to scare people, right? But we just want
Yeah,
people to stay vigilant, right?
Yeah.
Stay
Just pay
vigilant.
attention.
Keep an eye on your stuff. Look for the old lady walking down the street screaming, "Attenzione, pickpocket!" Right?
Right.
Remember that lady in Venice a couple of years ago that was letting everybody know when the pickpocketers were coming? So yeah, just be vigilant and you'll be okay, but be smart.
Yeah. And also if you're on the metro, just like a general thing, if you have like a transportation thing, just, watch your stuff. Because the doors open and they close, and once the metro pulls away, if someone has something of yours, you'll never be able to, well, not never, but you probably won't be able to get it back if it gets taken. But just be aware. It's not like it happens all the time.
Anything else that you guys are glad you packed or wish you packed?
Probably like sunscreen. I know this sounds really like, oh, sunscreen, but like a lot of sunscreen because at the end I felt myself like I was like running out. And like it's hot, like especially because you're going in the summer, like you're doing a lot of walking and you're gonna need to reapply like multiple times throughout the day. And on that note of like the heat, like I brought like a really big water bottle, like my metal water bottle. And like when you're walking around for hours, you don't want to be holding that, but you also need to have water. So honestly, like if you're gonna bring a water bottle, make sure it's like small, compact, lightweight, so that you're not lugging this giant water bottle with you everywhere. And then also like just like trying to pack light and like little small fanny packs and stuff like Clarke said.
Also, if you're carrying a huge jug of water around Europe, you're going to tell everybody you're American immediately. Right?
Something that one of the other kids on my program packed was this silicone collapsible water bottle. So she would fill it up in the beginning of our walks or our tours and something. And then by the end, when you're running low and you got this empty bottle that you don't want to deal with, it collapsed. And she could just put it in her pocket. It was the coolest thing.
That's so smart.
That's
Okay.
smart. I think I've seen those at like TJ Maxx. Anything else? What about shoes? Did you guys bring a lot of shoes? What did you do shoes wise?
I brought like 4 pairs of shoes.
How many did you actually wear? How many did you actually wear?
2. Because here's the thing. After like a week or 2, you get lazy. You don't want, like, honestly, I was trying to show off a little bit, just it's just like you're not gonna need that many shoes. Just pack a good pair of shoes for walking and a good pair of shoes if you're being casual and going to like dinner with your friends, because you don't need that many shoes. Just make sure you can walk in at least one pair. And if you have you're going to like a beach town, pack slippers. Also, pack shower shoes. You need shower shoes because especially if you're sharing a bathroom with people, it'll just get dirty and gross, and you don't want to have your bare feet on that. So just, some kind of slipper.
Did you guys bring enough clothes? Did you find that you overpacked clothes, that you brought too much clothes with you and always wore the same thing?
I don't know about them. Like, I don't know about everybody else, but I noticed that I severely underpacked.
Oh, okay.
It's like, yes, you want to save as much space as you can because you're going to be bringing stuff home and all the fun stuff. But you need to make sure you have enough clothes because stuff happens. And you don't really want to go out and buy them.
Right.
Yeah. And also, I think I overpacked on like my clothing, but I severely underpacked with my toiletries. Like, just pack whatever toiletries you think you have, add like 1 more pack of them, because you can buy them, but it's like it would be nice if you could just not have to go out and spend the money that you could be spending with souvenirs and stuff buying like a can of toothpaste.
Speaking of that, how'd you guys do with shopping and spending money on program? Clarke, our fashion icon.
I don't think I want to talk about it. It was really okay. It was kind of bad. It was kind of bad because I had a set amount of euros, and I was like, "Oh, I gotta spend these. I have to spend them," and then I ended up spending all of them within the first 2 weeks. But it's like you have just save as much money as you can because you're gonna want to spend it on like souvenirs and stuff. But it was very hard to resist walking past all of those stores and knowing like just focus.
Yeah, and on the other end of what Clarke said, make sure you're saving more than enough money. You're going to think you're going to spend through. If you think you're going to spend $500, bring $700 if you can. I was there for like 2 days and I broke my knee walking to the Coliseum. So the amount of medical bills that I was unexpecting, because the insurance that you do have, you get reimbursed for it. Yeah. But it's not like we're going to pay for it now. You have to file the claims and stuff.
Right. That's definitely something good to know. That emergency money is still needed because, yes, you will get paid back if there's any health-related issue, but you got to pay it out of your pocket in the moment.
And if your Metro Pass, because you get a Metro Pass, at least for me, if your Metro Pass, you lose it or you leave it at home, you have to pay your way in to the Metro. So you never like anything could happen. And you have to pay for like if you don't have enough money, because you get a certain, I don't even know if this was it true for you guys? Did you guys get like a pack of tickets that you could spend on like money on like food and stuff? Or was that just like
But you guys got like food stipends, right? Everybody should have gotten food stipends for lunch.
Yeah, we got like tickets to use for lunch.
Well, I know my program didn't get them because we had the homestays. Our homestays were supposed to pack.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah. But we had like a pack of tickets. And if you use all of those, you have to pay by yourself because you don't get another one for a week. But yeah, just be careful with your money because you're gonna regret if you really want to buy something at the end of the program and you don't have enough money for it then. You're just gonna end up regretting it. You don't want to do that.
Right, for sure.
Something I would do and what I did while I was on the program, like to avoid like spending too much money early on, is to just like give it like a good week and a half ish to like kind of like explore the city and see what it has to offer before you start spending your money, and then kind of get an idea because like you're there for a month, which is enough time to like go back and like buy stuff. Unless like there's something that you know you're not gonna see again or not gonna be able to buy again. If you can buy it later, just wait, honestly, because you're gonna like see a bunch of different things throughout. So
Yeah. See if you really want it later. That's something I'm trying to teach myself even in my regular adult day-to-day life. I see something at the store and be like, if I'm still thinking about it a week from now, maybe, right? But if I'm not even thinking about it anymore, maybe it's just an impulse, right? Or, the excitement of seeing something that you're never going to use once you get home, right? I, the amount of things that I have bought of clothes and shoes that are so cute to me in the city that I'm in and like make so much sense in the city that I'm in, and then I get back to the US and I'm like, wait a minute, I'm not going to wear this. This would be cute to wear if I was in Barcelona, but I'm in Providence. So this is staying in my closet, right?
Yeah, that's so relatable for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Buy stuff that you would wear at home because if you buy stuff and you're only wearing it when you're in your destination, then it's like, what's the point?
Yeah, exactly.
And that's a big thing that I noticed with the destinations is because you're going to be there and you're not going to want to look like an American tourist, but no matter what, you're going to look like an American at some point. Be comfortable.
Yeah, you are.
Take the culture in, but be comfortable.
That's such good advice, Tristyn. What other advice do you guys have for students who are about to go abroad this summer?
I would say always be open to try new things and just like not to be afraid. Because you're in a whole other country and you're learning something new and you're with like a lot of people who are also going through the same things. So at the end of the day, you just try something new.
Yeah, definitely just be aware that like everybody's afraid. Pretty much everybody has the same feelings as you do. They're just not expressing it as much. So just find a few close friends in the beginning, get to know them. Even if you don't talk after the program, at least you know that you had a great experience with a couple of people who you liked. And just embrace all of it because you'll never, like you said earlier, you'll never be a teenager studying abroad in a different country for the first time ever again.
I'm not sure if this is like specific to Barcelona or like Spain in general, but I guess it goes under like researching the place that you're gonna go and also like talking to your host family like before if you're staying in a host with a host family. Because something about Spain is that there's no AC in your house, which I was not used to coming from like the US. So just like researching the area and like talking to my host mom and like being aware that like I wouldn't have AC and like, the appropriate measures like and things I'd have to bring, like light sleeping clothes. But yeah.
That's important for everybody that's going abroad to know, I feel like, with CIEE, because most places in the world don't use AC like Americans use AC, right?
Did you guys have AC?
Sorry?
My family did. I got really lucky.
That is amazing, Tristyn. That is really lucky, yeah.
Our apartment complex did not have AC, but the center did, which was really exciting.
I did not have AC. I was also in Spain and it was bad. Especially at night, sleeping at night with no AC and that
It was bad.
But your body adjusts to it.
What was that?
Did your body adjust to it after a little while?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's easier after like a week.
Yeah, I was like, you said something about what kind of advice you have, and I was like, I just thought of something because you really can't hold yourself to the same standards as you can't hold yourself to your family standards, you can't hold yourself to your friends' standards. The biggest reason I applied for this was to impress an ex. Kind of regretful there. But after I went, the worst people can tell you is no. You just advocate for yourself and do what you want to do within limits, obviously.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you go for one reason, but you might come out with a completely different reason.
And the
And that's how it was.
that you get and like the liberty is like awesome because it's like a lot. Like they really just let you like be on your own.
Yeah. They let you do whatever you want within legal bounds, obviously. Like don't do anything that you would not do if your parents were waiting for you at the hotel room. Because you will get there were people who were acting up and not doing what they were supposed to do on my program. Uh, it's like not even like that big of a story, but it's like you will get in trouble. You like they will find out and you'll lose the privileges that you had before. And it's such a great experience because you get to go pretty much wherever you want within limits, like with your friends, by yourself if you want, with no like you don't have to have a chaperone most days. Just don't do anything that would take away from that experience because it's a really good opportunity to be yourself with other people too. Just don't let a mistake take away from the fact that you could be having a lot of fun with people.
Cool. Do you guys have favorite memories? What's your favorite memory from your time abroad? If you can think of one moment.
Ooh, I have one.
For me, it was England against Spain, like the big Euro Cup game. And that night was so fun because the whole city was very active and it was just like such a fun time to just be there and just hear how like exciting the city gets over that. And the fact that like they won was just like such an incredible time. It was such my favorite, like it was my favorite memory. I met up with my friends, we watched the game, and it was a really fun time.
Yeah, it was the same for me. When I was in Paris, it was the week or 2 weeks before the Olympics. Um, and it was like the calm before the storm because it was like all the tourists were coming in, but they weren't making a ruckus yet. So it was like everything was decorated for the Olympics and everything was so beautiful, but it wasn't like nothing was happening yet. So we went to the Eiffel Tower lighting up one night and we saw an Olympian just training and we were like, I didn't know who it was, but we just saw them training and it was just like a great moment because I was with my friends and it was like a great day in general. But it was like you just see the how hype, like Katie said, how hype the city gets when it's something that involves them or has to do with them. And it was like just seeing all the places where like the Olympics would be and seeing it on TV after. I was like, oh, I went there. And I was like, it was just a really great moment because it's like you get to see what everybody else sees in person in the flesh before it becomes popular.
Yeah, that is really cool.
I would say my favorite memory was our Pompeii weekend trip because it's one of those things where you read about it forever and ever. There's even songs on it, but it's not really something you ever expect to see in your lifetime unless it's through a TV or a phone screen.
Yeah. That must have been pretty surreal to go to Pompeii.
Oh, it was awesome.
Yeah. It's really cool. Fariah, what's your favorite memory?
My favorite memory was our weekend. It was a day trip to this place called Tipitabo, which was like an hour drive away from Barcelona. And it's like a whole amusement park, but on top of a mountain. So it was really cool. And yeah, it was different. Because like you're like on top of this mountain and like you're riding all these rides and like the scenery is just beautiful and it was really fun. So
Super cool. If you guys could go abroad again with another CIE program, where would you go? Would you go back to the same place? Would you go to a different city?
I think if it was through CIEE, I would try to go to a different city. But if I only had one more chance to go abroad, I would probably go back to Rome.
Okay.
Yeah, if I had another chance to go back abroad, I would definitely go to I'll go back to Paris because the program was really fun, the people were really nice, and it's exactly like my hometown. So it's a lot easier to get around. It
Yeah.
was easy to adjust at least.
Any other ideas? I really want to go visit our centers in Seoul and in like Tokyo and Shanghai. Um, those are at the top of my list.
So whenever I applied, like, you list your top three choices. So, I had wanted to go to Japan also,
Mhm.
because I feel like, I don't know, because I already went to Europe now, so it would be interesting to go across to another continent and go to Japan and explore there. I'm also interested in like the other topic programs because I did language and culture, so I would be interested in like doing like engineering or business or something.
Yeah.
So
That makes me wonder, like, were you guys all set? Did you, Clark, know you wanted to be in Paris? You did fashion, so my guess is yes.
Yeah, and
Um,
I picked that. I didn't get a choice to do my top three. So
okay.
yeah.
Yeah. What about the rest of you? Were these your top cities, or how did you know where you wanted to go? How did you decide?
For me, it was the food. I
You
really only
pizza and
decided on
pasta for
Italy for the food.
lunch.
What about Katie?
Yeah, Katie, what?
I always knew I wanted to go to Spain.
You,
I didn't know about. Sorry,
go ahead.
I knew I wanted to go to Spain. I didn't know much about Sevilla. I knew I wanted to go to like, Barcelona, but I'm glad I got to go to Sevilla.
Awesome. Great. And Faria, why'd you choose Barcelona? I mean,
so
obviously Japan was your first choice, but
yeah, my first choice was like either like Japan or honestly, I'm not gonna lie, it was my third choice because first I wanted to go to Berlin, then Japan, then Barcelona. And like for those of you guys who are like applying and choosing your top three, even if you don't get like your top three or your first pick, second pick, like you should still go because like you don't know what it's gonna be like when you get there, and like the experience is just so like it's just so worth it to go and like you know like you might think like, oh, because at first I was like, oh, I don't really want to go to Barcelona that much, but then I got there and then you immerse yourself with the culture and you like interact with the locals and like see so many like beautiful like scenery and like architecture, and you just really value the experience when you leave. So definitely give it a try, even if you don't get your first pick. So yeah.
I honestly think that the country doesn't matter if like you have the right people and the right environment and like if you're really just there to learn and experience things, then the country it becomes irrelevant after a little bit. Like even though you're there to experience the culture, once you make friends and you have those good life experiences, y your top choices, like you won't remember your top choices because you'll just be living in the moment. At least that's what I hope. I hope that's like an accurate representation of how it was for you guys.
yeah, kind of like the key takeaways are going to be the same in any city you go to. If you have like a certain passion for a certain culture, then that's one thing that you really want to go to. But if you're doing this to make friends, to grow, to see the world, to become more independent, right? That's going to happen on any of our programs, right? And then the city becomes an extra bonus, right? That the extra bonus that is the main objective, right? But the main objective is at the end of the day to get to know other cultures, right? So whether you're getting to know the Spanish culture or the Japanese culture or the German culture, right? At the end of the day, you are going out of your comfort zone and putting yourself out there to the world and to broaden your global perspective, right? So no matter what, it's going to be amazing because that's That's the amazing part, is seeing how much you grow and how much you learn and the friends you make. Great. Is there anything else that any of you want to add?
Yeah, actually, I do have one thing. I was thinking, like, you go into this program, everybody is going to be telling you this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. And for a lot of people, it is. But if you're not only accepted, but you're able to go, you should go into it. You should complete the program thinking this is going to be my only time here. And then as soon as you're done, you need to do everything you can to do what you want to do. Because if it hadn't been for this program, I would probably be going to technical school. But since I came back and I decided I want to be an ambassador, I want to share this, I want to go back abroad, I'm going to be going to college in Italy because of how amazing my time was.
No way, Tristyn. Wait, so are you a senior going to, like, you're going to Italy in the fall?
Yeah, I already confirmed my spot. I'm going to the American University of Rome.
Amazing.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
It's so exciting.
Congratulations.
That's really cool. It was the same
Yeah,
thing for
but-
me.
No, that's super cool.
Yeah.
It's definitely something to think about, though. It's like you cannot just go into this thinking that you'll never be able to do something like it again. You got to go into it thinking this is going to be my first experience, and I'm going to do everything in my power to make it not be my last.
Yeah.
Right. You gotta come in with that mentality that you're gonna be back there, or you're gonna be wherever you want to be, honestly. Like if I hadn't gone to fashion, if I hadn't even signed up for the program, I would have never even learned how to sew. I would have never taken a real interest in fashion. And it's like now it's one of my favorite things to do. And so it's like just take it, whatever you're doing there, take it seriously because it'll have an impact on you for your entire life.
And even if you don't think you're going to get in, you should apply and put yourself out because the worst they can tell you is no. Because I wasn't even going to apply for this program. Look where we're at.
Yeah. And now you're an ambassador. Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah,
And
just
that's
even
amazing.
applying is such an accomplishment.
It is.
And completing the whole program is just such an accomplishment. And being able to take like the risk, like if I wouldn't have done it, I wouldn't have learned like what I'm capable of now.
Right. And that's the thing with traveling. It's once you do it once, like you might think, oh, I'll do this once and get it out of my system, but that's not how traveling works, right? Once your world is opened up by going somewhere else in the world, you just want to keep doing it. And that's what we want. That's the whole point of CIEE, right? Because we want to have teenagers and youth that then eventually you guys will become the adults in our society, right? And people, Americans who are constantly connected to the outside world, right? And ready to go to other places in the world and explore the rest of the world and to learn with that and, broaden your mindsets. So that
Something else. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Just something else that is like really important to take into consideration is you're going to a different country over the summer break. It is not high school. You can be however different you want to be, and you're not going to be made fun of like you are in high school.
Yeah.
And if you do get made fun of, you're not going to. But if there are people who are less than kind to you, there's always another group of people who will welcome you with open arms. Like I'm not going to sit here and say that everybody in the program was friends and we all loved each other. There were separate friend groups, but we all were cordial to each other and we were all nice to each other. Just find that group of people who are more than nice, if that makes sense. Just find those people who you would feel comfortable with hanging out with when you get back home because they'll become your lifelong friends.
Thing is that the chances the student that is going to choose to come to study abroad is going to have a mentality like you, right? Anybody that's choosing to do this is most likely going to be an open person who just wants to meet other people and is accepting of other people, right? So go into it with that thought that, you know what, everybody's kind of like me, wants to explore the world, wants to make new friends, and hopefully gonna be nice,
Right, like nobody's gonna be mean to you. It's just gonna be like, who's the nicest, I guess.
It's really one of those ordeals where if you're respectful to somebody else, they're going to at least be civil with you.
Yeah. Like it's different with high school because in high school there's like beef and drama and people are mean. But in the program, it's like even if you're not friends with somebody, if you came up to them and asked to hang out, they're probably gonna say yes. Like you just have to ask. Because you're all there for the exact same reason. Like you're all there to study abroad, have fun, make new friends, learn about yourself. So just, put yourself out there because it can't hurt. And if it does, you'll never see them again. So
And there really is more of a sense of understanding between everybody because in high school, it's like, oh, I'm better than you because I get to do this. Whereas studying abroad, it's like, we're all on the same level right here, right now, because we're all here.
So thank you then to our guests tonight. This was an awesome podcast episode, and I hope that all of those listening are now super excited and feel more prepared to go to your CIEE destinations this summer and have the most amazing summer of your life so far. So thank you all for tuning in, and thanks to our hosts and thanks to our guests.
Thank you for listening to Out of Your Comfort Zone. For more information on high school study abroad programs, visit ciee.org/global navigator.